Hey guys, what's up? The Matrix Man, and I'm back with you with another video. This one I want to talk about the goddesses versus the gods, or the gods versus the goddesses. Either way you can take it. Why do we look across the globe and everything is just a patriarchal system? Whether it be from the political movement, whether it be school system. Well, the school system is alright because you got a lot of women, operating in that department. But anything more meaningful than that in terms of like the banks, like I said, more business places, is more patriarchal. You go into religion as well. Everything in religion these days is only solely based off for a patriarchal system. So where is the room for the goddesses? Because if you was to turn back a few pages back into every culture, you realize that there was a time when woman was literally in operation. But these days, women across the globe are in different fields of being, suppressed for obvious reasons. But like I said, where the goddesses and gods are concerned, you will never see, for example, in Greece, we use Greece for example now, you will never look up into Greece and you see gods and not see goddesses. That would be impossible. You take a footstep over into Africa and you want to use Egypt for a case in point as well. You'll never hear about the system where you have only those pharaohs. You're going to have the same thing. You're going to have the king himself and also the queen sit at the same space, So how comes now our goddesses as well? So you have the gods and goddesses, but how comes, and you go maybe into different cultural background as well. Anywhere you want to take it. You go into India, pretty much the same conversation. You would have the gods and the goddesses. But how come now in our current stage, we're only focusing solely on Jesus for Christians, Allah for Muslims, and who want to follow any other religion, which is still going to be man is at the core of that religion. So where is that religion where it got that balance? The feminine balance into why it has to always be this masculinity throughout everything, just permeating throughout everything. Why it has to be that? Who did kind of silence, or who still is silencing the influence of the female energy in that true aspect? I mean, we see women these days doing, whatever, but it's just because they haven't got the role to play, so they have to become the different thing, the ratchet women, bitches, you name it, and all of that kind of nonsense that's happening with female at this present time. But there's gonna a stage in life where women used to be deemed very high in society, especially in the goddess god movement. I mean, now it's only Jesus, it's only Allah, and it's only all of those names. So I do believe that we have to start to go back into our history. Every culture, every civilization have to look in it and take account and said, we used to have goddesses around, but how comes now we don't have any goddesses in our so-called mainstream religion practices? And if it was to be heard call upon certain goddesses' name, whether it be from the Eurocentric, Afrocentric, Asiatic standpoint, South America, you're having issues because the order of the day is only Jesus, Allah, Buddha, and like I said, the name goes down. But the more it goes down, is more you're gonna go into that masculine energy. So I do believe for us to have like a balance in things, we need to take back into account the goddesses. We need to probably start to evoke their name, speak their name some more. Inside the house, you build some altars for them, You go maybe into antique places we can get it, maybe images of them as well. We have the good old Google. We can Google their images as well. And we start to, speak more about these goddesses, whether you want to take it from the African goddesses, for those, from the Eurocentric point of view, you want to go over and you take those goddesses from in Europe, you go anywhere, India, you take up those goddesses, and you start to reactivate those energy of those goddesses. Because the same way every day people want to talk about Jesus, then that's all good for them. But what if I want to talk about some goddesses in my own conversation? I mean, is that being censored? I don't know. So like I said, give me a take on it, because where there is a god, there has to be a goddess. And where there's a king, there has to be a queen. And where there's a prince, there has to be a princess. Where there's a mother, there have to be a father. It's just pretty common sense. So how comes now we only have two movements, the devil and Jesus? Doesn't make sense. So what role would Allah play for those who cry out for Allah's name? You know, so it seems as if even into the Allah movement, you know, there's no special name of any female in that sense of the word. So too much of this testosterone energies all over the place. We need to kind of find some balance in that. And the only way we can bring balance into this world and all of this war that's happening and everything is happening and a rampage, the greed, everything, we need to bring back in the full balance in things. And how we're gonna have to do this is to incorporate the woman energy or the female energy into the equation, the yin and the yang. You cannot have so much male energy just all over the place like that. You're gonna have chaos. Man, in our own nature, we have chaos as it is, you know, chaos speaking. But we can have a balance in our own energy field where we can have integration of female energy permeating throughout our communities, through our culture, throughout our world, and everything. And Mother Nature would automatically reap the benefits of that, because right now there's a lot of imbalance going on into this world. So because stuff are so imbalanced at this present, that you have so much different chaotic things are happening, because no one remembers about bringing back the balance to nothing. So there you have it. So drop me your comment and tell me your own version of your idea of goddesses. Do you think we need to start to activate these names, or you think these names are just done and dusted, so leave it alone and just let it focus on Jesus and the devil himself? I do believe there's room at the table for the goddesses. I do believe that. I do believe there's room in our conversation for the goddesses as well. I do believe that. I do believe that in our lives still there are room for the involvement of the goddesses to help us to navigate through our path as well. I do believe that. So if you share the same belief, drop me a comment in the comment section and tell me about your goddesses and which one, you know, you would like to hear about or you want to speak about. I mean, there's so much to talk about, you know. You got, like I say, you got from the Europe standpoint, you got from Africa, you got from Asia, you got from South America. You can choose. I mean, there's some of the different ones, man. But my favorite out of all of them is Maat, you know. That's my girl right there, you know. So I'm gonna hold on for Maat for now. So whichever one you wanna hold on to, she will love you for that, you know. So regardless, they're all gonna love you because at least somebody remembered their name. So speak the name and bring them back into existence in your own life, into your own community. And let's have some changes. Let's have some revolution with all of these goddesses, because they got a role to play. Trust me, they do got a role to play. But we have to play our role with them and bring back them into existence, just the same way I would do with the male version of things. So let's bring back in all the goddesses. And all the goddesses out there who are doing your thing, keep doing your thing as well. And share this video, like it, favorite it, and keep checking out the Matrix Man. I'm always going to bring you information that can bring you into a state where you can think outside of the matrix itself, and you know, you can find yourself and also help to free someone else while you're freeing yourself. So from me to you, peace.